everybody, Taylor and Polly here from Beaten Jeans, and today we're interviewing Amanda. Hey everybody, Taylor and Polly here from Beaten Jeans, and today we're interviewing Amanda. She is no stomach gives me more guts.
I love that.
And yeah, we're so excited to talk to her. She's here watching right now, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right in and invite her in. So hope everyone's having a good day.
Y'all ready for the holiday? Scrambling to get your last minute items.
I am.
I just need to get to the grocery store.
I have some packages arriving and I hope they arrive on time. Let's see. Invite. Okay, we've invited. Oh, here she is. Hi, Amanda.
But I'm sideways.
Turn it the other way.
Let's see.
There we are. Hi.
How are you?
How are you doing?
Great.
We're so happy to have you join us today.
Oh, I'm excited too.
Can you do me a favor? Can you put your camera down a little bit? We're seeing a lot there. Perfect.
Now we can see
I gotta put a prop. Yeah, I wasn't sure how things. There we go. Okay.
Perfect. Where are you coming from? Where do you live?
So I live on Long Island in New York.
Oh,
Smack
wow.
in the middle of Long Island in Sayville.
Oh my
Far
gosh.
away from us.
Very far.
How's the weather there?
It's actually a bit cold today. I say that, but it's just above freezing for most of the day, but the sun's out. So I don't do very well with cold. So I'm originally
neither do
Neither
I.
does she. I hate the cold.
I'm originally from the South, and somehow I landed myself up here. I don't quite understand, but
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we're excited to hear your story and hopefully,
Learn some stuff from you since
stuff.
you've been through it. First-hand experience. So
Yeah.
why don't you tell us, take us back to the beginning. We don't really know a lot about your history, so
right. So
Yeah.
I can do that. So I'll start off by saying that my mother had lobular breast cancer, and my maternal grandmother had what we thought were stomach problems.
Mm-hmm.
Being from the South, you don't talk about the CE word at all. And it turns out that she had her stomach removed in 2 different surgeries. But we were put, we didn't even realize that. We were put in a high risk for breast cancer because of my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so my sister went to a new breast facility for high risk patients, and they wanted to do genetic testing on her. She came back CDH1 positive.
Mm-hmm.
And then we immediately got the notes saying, you all need to go get tested.
Right.
So she found out. I tested right away. Everybody was actually pretty fast because they actually found cancer in the biopsies in her stomach. So she was scheduled pretty soon after.
Your sister, they
My
biopsied her. Okay.
Yeah, when they did the biopsies. So she found out in I think probably October of 2017, and she had her surgery in November.
Okay.
1 month later.
Wow.
Where
Yeah.
did she have her gastrectomy?
So she had hers in Poughkeepsie, New York, at the can't remember Vassar Brothers Medical Hospital, and I was there helping her through her recovery, and I got my genetic test back while I was with her, and it was positive, and I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I didn't
She was
want
going through so much.
She was already going through so much stuff, so I kind of just held that.
That's a lot.
That was a lot to hold in.
It was a lot to hold in, and I lasted as long as I possibly could. I had my gastrectomy in December of 2017. In fact, December 22nd. So I'm 2 days away from my 4 year.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh. Okay,
So
so
just
wait,
one
was
month after your sister, you had
the same year?
at the same facility.
No, not the same facility. I wanted to stick around Long Island. I had an appointment to go to see Vivian Stone, and in the city. But I also found a doctor at a hospital here, Stony Brook Hospital, and I went and talked to him, and he knows her and has worked with her. He had not done very many CDH1, had many CDH1 patients. I think maybe 3, maybe, but he had done a lot of gastrectomies.
Oh, okay.
And he knew Dr. Strong and said that he could always ask her any questions if he had any questions about it. So I felt okay about it. But one of the things that he said to me is when we found out is that because of my advanced age, I was 50.
That's terrible. That's
I
not
guess
nice.
in relation to when people generally develop cancer, it's like 34.
Right. Well,
average.
that was what it was. He says because of my age, he really wanted to get it done soon. So we scheduled it right away. We actually scheduled the surgery at the same time we scheduled the biopsies.
Oh, wow.
You did it in conjunction.
Yeah, he says it doesn't matter what it comes out to be, that we're going to do it anyway.
Right.
Just because it's
because your sister found cancer when she had her stomach.
She found cancer. It also turns
grandma.
out right after my surgery, my brother found out he was positive. Also.
Yeah.
He didn't have his until a couple months later.
Okay.
But we all had it at the same time, which is horrible, but good at the same time because we had a built-in support system, which you guys know about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have each other to talk to.
That was really what has really brought us together.
Yeah.
So.
Did they find cancer cells in your stomach?
Yes.
Brother's stomach?
Yes.
All three
we
of you
all had cancer cells in our stomachs.
So all three siblings had tested positive for CDH1, and all three have had their stomachs out with cancer cells.
Right.
Wow.
And my brother, they didn't find anything in the biopsies, but they did find later in the pathologies. So,
and that's what they say. They say, unfortunately, screening cannot always detect the cancer.
Yeah.
So that's very lucky of you.
My brother had his in the city with Dr. Strong. So I mean, she's really good and she knows what she's doing. But
tell me her name again. Strong.
Vivian Strong.
Vivian
Strong. At Memorial Sloan Kettering.
Okay. And she's well known for CDH1.
She's well known. She's done these a lot. Yeah. Definitely. She's one of the top. She's one of the recommended surgeons.
So how was after your surgery? Tell us about that. How waking up, my stomach's no longer here. How did that feel? Was your recovery smooth? Did you have complications?
In the hospital, I didn't really have that many complications when I was in the hospital. I think it's pretty much the same that everybody has. They did an epidural for me, which was, they were having a hard time figuring out the dosage because it was making my blood pressure drop a lot.
Right.
But it wasn't that bad. It was, surgery.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to handle after that, and there's surgery, and it's there's the things have to come out and drain things and nose things and all that kind of stuff. But I did okay. Coming home was hard, but I did have family here to support me. My father was here, and my husband and son, who at that time was 8. Yeah. But he really helped a lot. They all helped a lot. So it was good. I plopped myself down in the recliner and stayed there.
And you probably had some pointers and tips from your sister who had just gone through it.
Right.
I had a lot of points and tips from my sister. She like hooked me up with a nutritionist that I could talk to about different things. And I actually still use her nutritionist as a different one, but I use we use the same one. So it was it was rough at first, having to keep the food journal, seeing what kind of effects I had with the different foods that I had. But I made it through it. It was okay. It really was okay. And then what happened was 6 months later, I had the double mastectomy.
Right. Okay. You waited 6 months.
I waited 6 months. And because my mother had lobular breast cancer, and I had back in 2008, I had LCIS.
Okay.
So it was the beginning of it. They decided that because of that, regardless what showed up in the tests.
What is LCIS? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
It's lobular cancer in situ. So it's just starting.
Like what you had, right?
That's what I had too. Yeah.
That's what you had. Yeah. And they said, when I had it, that it's likely that it could come back and especially, interestingly enough, in the other breast.
Mm-hmm.
So they had me on tamoxifen for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
That was not fun.
This is before your mastectomy. In 2008, they put you on the tamoxifen.
So instead of doing a mastectomy, they put me on the yes.
Oh.
They did a lumpectomy. And decided, now see, that was also before we knew my mother had lobular breast cancer.
Okay. You found out in those 5 years?
Yeah, within that, we found out exactly what kind of breast cancer she had.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh
To recover just 6 months after your gastrectomy had to be so rough.
It was rough.
Keeping your pain managed and then also keeping up on your diet and eating the proper calories.
Yeah, I think the diet's been the hardest for me. My body changes so much that it's, I mean, people say this, what works one day doesn't work another day. But for me, it seems like it's so often that it just throws me for a loop, and I just don't know what to eat at all.
It's almost scary looking in the refrigerator.
You go through these waves of, just not wanting to deal with it anymore. I mean, I think a big part of it is just dealing with your mental health and you're like, I'm done. I don't want to eat anymore because I don't know what's going to work anymore. Or,
even 4 years out, you're struggling finding what works.
Even 4 years out, I'm struggling. And I go through different things. Like, I had to have my gallbladder removed. I had an incisional hernia that developed, and I had that fixed in 2019. And that was like, they had to completely reopen me again.
Oh,
if I had opened.
Just talked to someone who had that too, right?
Right.
They said that was almost worse than the gastrectomy.
Well, it was traumatic because, after going through the gastrectomy with being cut open all the way, and then, now they're saying they're going to have to do it again. I was like, do I do this? But I had to. It needed to be done.
Right. Yeah.
From that, I've developed chronic pain, though. We're trying to figure out how to fix that.
Incisional pain or intestinal pain?
No, it's from the mesh.
Oh, wow. I've heard some stories about mesh on just commercial.
Yeah, I don't know if it's scar tissue that's built up on one side or if it's something else. I don't know what it is. But
you said that you guys are trying to get that under control, or
we've been trying to fix that for over 2 years now.
Can they go in and remove the mesh?
That's what I asked. I was like, can we just take it out? Because it's obviously everything is healed in there, but apparently it can cause more problems with doing that. There were several doctors, they can talk to each other and all kind of, reached out to other doctors, and they said that it could actually cause more problems by removing the mesh.
I'm so sorry that you're struggling with that. How are you able to keep that pain under control?
Basically with my activities, I have to keep everything kind of light. I had to stop working. I was a preschool teacher. I ran a preschool, an outdoor preschool. And I started it and ran it and taught in it. It was very active work.
Yeah.
And
you're dealing with
rewarding
kids. Preschool in itself is a lot, but outside,
Right.
it's like herding cats.
Right. Oh yeah.
They're everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
And then we were climbing trees and building stuff and doing all kinds of things like that. So I had to quit that, which was hard. I have a son, so I had to figure out, you know, how to manage him. My husband taught full time in the city, so.
And your son is 13 now?
Yeah, he's about to turn 13. Yeah.
Okay.
You have just the one child?
Just have the one, and then my husband. Yeah. My second child.
Right. And then, so I want to go back to your grandma, because you said something at the beginning about how she had her parts of her stomach removed.
Right. So she had, I remember one of the surgeries. She had the first surgery, I think, when she was probably about early 40s is our guess. And then I remember her having another stomach surgery. And at that point, my assumption is that the rest of her stomach was removed. Now that we've had our stomachs out, we realize all the things that she did and all of the way she lived her life was because of that.
Right.
She had small portions of food. She had to eat a lot of times. She was kind of weak. She had to be very careful. She developed really bad osteoporosis. But she didn't die of the cancer or anything. She died of old age. Actually, it was mainly the osteoporosis is what it just, I mean, her bones, they couldn't even take x-rays.
Oh.
They wouldn't show up. It was really bad. She couldn't move. She couldn't do it. And just in the end, it's just, you know.
How are your DEXA scans looking? Have you had any?
I had a baseline at the beginning, and then I had another one. I am already showing osteopenia.
Oh my gosh.
So it definitely.
Is there a thing where you can get like calcium infusions, or how do you deal
Well,
with?
I take calcium.
Okay.
But it really, I don't know any other, you know, way to deal with it. I had to drop dairy from my diet because I can't do dairy after the stomach removal.
I've heard that.
So I think that had a pretty big impact. And a lot of the like vegetables and stuff that come with calcium. Can't really.
Vegetables are hard to eat. Yeah.
Vegetables are hard.
All that
Yeah.
fiber.
Yeah.
So what is your main staple? What is your main safe food you go to?
Mainly it's these nutritional drinks that I have called Kate Farms, and they're it's a whole meal. It's the same brand it's used for tube feeding, but this is you can also take it orally. So it's like a meal. I really rely on those to get the calories in, and then I do eggs. I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat meat. I haven't eaten meat since probably high school. And my doctors were concerned so I was like, all right.
Protein is so essential, right?
All right. I really need to get the protein. Let me try, which was hard for me because it'd been so long. I had a horrible reaction to the meat.
Oh.
Yeah. I was bloated and just in miserable shape. So I had to cut it out again. And I just go back to that, you know. I mean, but the other things with protein, I a lot of times I can't tolerate either. You know, I can do some beans, good with nut butters. Nut butter's a good one for me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are a few things that I know I can rely on, and I just have to do that. It's limited though.
So that whole joy of eating and sitting at the table is kind of gone.
Oh, I know, and it's so horrible because my family was we did, that was our thing, cooking.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We cooked together.
I saw your husband and your son doing the home chef meal the other night.
Oh yeah, they did that I did that for them last year when I was like, I can't do the cooking anymore. I just can't do it. I'm cooking things that I'm not eating.
Yeah.
But yeah, other people always say that you just never want to interfere with a kitchen full of Johnsons, because it's like we're all over the place.
Right.
But that's been rough, and it's because it's eating is a job.
Do you feel like your nutritionist is helping you to try to figure out ways to kind of advance your diet, bring it more to?
I finally found finding a good nutritionist is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the problems that I kept finding was that nobody really got what I was going through.
Right.
Even the closest one was a bariatric nutritionist. But she's dealing with people trying to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not trying to do that.
But you are doing the small portions, like what a bariatric patient might be doing.
Exactly. So there were a lot of similarities, so she knew about all the problems that could happen and what I could and couldn't eat and that kind of thing. But recently I actually found another nutritionist, and the reason I went with her is my sister is the same nutritionist as my sister. She's upstate. Never actually met her. But because the both of us are without a stomach, she can compare and relate to the things that we're both going through and help each other. So
good.
That is
really
nice.
Good.
I think that's key when you're going through something like this, is if you're struggling to reach out for help from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And if you aren't finding it with one doctor or provider, go to somebody else.
Right.
Oh, definitely. If you're not happy with what one person is saying, you just find something else.
Yeah.
Because we have to be advocates for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, are your sister and your brother, are they experiencing the same diet issues that you are?
Not as much, because my sister has had some problems. She had some severe iron problems, and she was going in for iron infusions like 3 times a week.
A lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. She was losing iron, as it turned out. But as far as food goes, they have done pretty well. They both have their little go-tos that they do. My sister is she's a bone broth advocate. And has that with everything. I mean, she has it in her coffee in the morning. She just puts it in everything.
I don't know if I could do that.
I know. No, and my brother seems to be doing okay. He's found things that work for him too. So,
yeah. And now, do your brother and your sister, do they have kids also?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my sister had a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old.
And is the 19-year-old testing?
She is going to. She has said she's going to. It's been a little rough, but I think that she definitely is going to do that, and then the younger one also.
Yeah.
My brother has 2 girls. One is 5 and the other one is 7.
Babies.
Young, still. So maybe some more advanced, maybe some more research and studying will.
Yeah.
Exactly.
By the time you're 18.
Have all that CRISPR stuff going on.
Yeah. My son is adopted, so.
Oh, you don't have to worry about him. Yeah. Thank the Lord. Good.
I mean, I don't know if there's something else I would have to worry about with him, but
it's always something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
And your mother has been able to keep her stomach, just her breast.
Well, my mother passed, actually from breast cancer.
Oh,
She passed from breast cancer. It metastasized in her bones.
I'm so sorry.
Like 7 years after she had mastectomy and got rid of the cancer. She went through chemo and it was pretty bad.
Wow. So when they removed her breast, she was already stage 3 or 4. Like what?
She was probably about a stage 4.
Okay.
And they actually only removed one breast, which is interesting. It also was pre CDH1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was before the genetic testing.
Before we knew all about that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I tested for BRCA after she passed, and that was new. And I had a hard time getting insurance to pay for that and, say, look, this is necessary. I was negative.
Right.
So then I just left it alone. I was like, okay.
Right. Because that's all we thought would give you breast cancer.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At the time, yeah.
Right.
When you had your mastectomy and your biopsy showed you had the in situ cells, when you had your mastectomy, did that show that it was still there in both breasts?
I had breast cancer developing in one and LCIS in the other one.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness you did it.
I know.
So, yeah. So
even though you were taking the tamoxifen,
even though I took the tamoxifen, the tamoxifen lowers your risk, I think, by, don't quote me on this, by maybe like 10%. If you take it for 5 years, it's a low. It may even be lower than that.
Are you still taking it?
No.
Nope. Good.
I got no boobs, so there's no reason to.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, I stopped that.
You've been through
so much.
You've been through a lot. Wow.
Wow. Your whole family.
It's been a lot, but I finding support through our group. The CDH1 group has been amazing. And then having the family, it's just really, whoops, something happened.
Sorry, we X'd out for a second, but we're back.
Oh, okay. Because one of the things, and I want to say this, is that one of the things, and I did a little bit, that people have to really pay attention to, other than family support and knowing your family history and finding support from other groups, is getting your mental health situated and set. And even before you have the surgery, finding somebody who can be with you, a therapist that can be with you through all of the things you're going to go through. And you're going to go through a lot, Right. And it's been extremely helpful for me. I have been diagnosed with depression and anxiety since then. And I'm on medication, and it's really, it's helped a lot. There's a lot to go through, but finding support is really important.
Yeah, I agree. Right. So you're not the first person that has talked to us about the depression, and maybe that there's a brain gut connection and having stomach removed, and then on top of just everything you've been going through. So I agree. That's probably so important to find that right counselor to help you through.
It definitely is. And finding it before everything hits the fan, so to speak.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Be proactive on that.
And what kind of therapist is that? Is there a specific, because you've got the family counselors and the kid counselors. Right. And
so somebody who deals a lot with trauma is going to be the best, probably, because it is trauma. It's trauma to your body. Losing a body part is hard on the rest of your body.
Right.
I always say that my other body parts miss my stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do, because they all work together, and now it's all separate. So.
Right. Wow. Well, that's good advice, and I think that's important, and that's something you need to do too, because you've signed up for your gastrectomy.
That's right.
March 21st.
March 21st. Oh, that's actually the same day my brother had his.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, good juju.
Yeah. Can have our gastroversaries on the same day.
Yeah, exactly. You'll do great. If you got all the support lined up, And
Yeah. I need to do that. I have
and go into it with a positive feeling. I did. I went into it positive, knowing I was doing the right thing, knowing this was going to save my life so that I could be here for my son and the rest of my family. And that helped a lot. Everybody kept saying, "Oh my goodness, you're so positive and happy," and all, you know, the nurses and everybody, like, I'm like, okay.
I have to be, right?
Yeah, you have to
go in there like, this is going to be horrible, it's not going to work out, blah blah.
Yeah, right.
That's the way it's going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to go into it being positive and just knowing that you're doing the right thing.
Right. That's like Seahorse Snacks with her positive. She used to listen to the tape at night.
Right. Yeah. Positive affirmations.
Yes,
absolutely.
Are you keeping up on testing your blood for deficiencies? I know you said osteoporosis. Is that annually?
I have a hematologist who tests she tests every 6 months. I know some people go longer, but I have iron levels that tend to go up and down at just odd times. There's no pattern to it. So we test every 6 months, and I've had to have a few iron infusions. Oddly enough, my B12 has been fine. That's like, and I do the sublingual. I don't do injections. As far as the DEXA scan, I have a rheumatologist we're following that and really.
Well, I hope that they can get a handle on that for you.
I know.
Yeah. I've actually been asking around because my understanding was after a gastrectomy that you needed to have it at the DEXA scan every year, but it seems like that every 2 years seems to be the way to go. So we'll see.
Every 2 years. Okay. That's doable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that scan. I don't know if there's like side effects or anything to it.
No. I think you just lie there and they just, scan.
Like an MRI or something.
Yes, it's like an MRI, but without the sound, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Well, I've certainly enjoyed hearing your story.
I'm glad.
Oh, and it's so good to talk to you and to see you, and you're here, you're alive, and so it's
exactly. That's the thing to take away from it all, because if we hadn't done this, that wouldn't have been the case.
Right, absolutely. And that's something that we all have to remember and keep in mind. And if we're on the fence, I think that's an important thing to keep in the back of your mind. So,
and we appreciate you opening up and sharing your story. Not only has it
I'm
helped
glad
us, but it's helping so many others, because more and more people every day are learning they carry this mutation. And
you guys should take all of these videos and put them together in a
It's really interesting to see like correlations between them, where we're starting to see patterns and how, similarities are arising. So
this could definitely turn into like a study.
I think so too.
I agree.
Yeah. So thank you for being a part of it. We very much appreciate it.
We do. We appreciate it so much.
All right. I had a great time doing it. I'm glad.
Good. Yeah. And happy upcoming anniversary.
Yes. In 2 days.
I know. 2 days. I know. I just realized that. Wait a minute.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. We're proud of you for going through all of that with such a positive mindset.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
right.
And
well, enjoy your holiday.
Have a good holidays and New Year's and all the other things that happen.
We'll be in touch with you.
Hey, all right.
Bye, Amanda.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Taylor.